Peace. Yo, what's good, everybody? Yo, this is the God, Lord Supreme from Born Power Truth, See Truth. I wanted to take this time to give people an understanding on what the gods on earth mean when we talk about 85, 10, and 5. All right? Now, the reason why we use these specific numbers is because in our lessons, in our 120, it specifically gives clear, concise answers, very near correct, on the type of people that you're going to deal with and encounter in life. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes down to the mind state of people, there's certain type of mentalities and personalities that you're going to deal with when you encounter different people in different places and different areas of life, especially in your journey. So let me explain to you guys what the 85% portion of it means, right? And I'm gonna break it down through, explaining it through my lessons and then giving you an understanding. In our lessons in the knowledge culture, or the 14th, 15th, and 16th degree, in our Lost Found Muslim lessons number 2, it asks specific questions. And those questions are, the first one is, who is the 85%? And the answer is, they are the uncivilized people, poisonous animal eaters, slaves of mental death and power, those who do not know the true and living God or their origin in this world and worship what they know not, those who are easily led in the wrong direction, but hard to lead in the right direction. Okay? Now, when you're dealing with the 85%, that degree clearly states who they are and what type of people they are. It says they are the uncivilized people, poisonous animal eaters, slaves of mental death and power, those who do not know the true and living God or their origin in this world and worship what they know not. Those who are easily led in the wrong direction, but hard to lead in the right direction, right? So you're dealing with people who have a somewhat limited mind state. And when I say somewhat, I mean, their mind state has been altered and taken away from as far as what is supposed to actually be on, as far as what type of person that the person is and how they're supposed to actually live and actually act. And in some cases, you're going to run into people that are strictly just uncivilized. And when I say uncivilized, I'm talking about there is no way that you can strive to help this person in your daily living, as far as mentally, physically, emotionally, verbally, financially, economically, whichever way you want to look at it. Because this person is not civil. This person does not have upright social mannerism or etiquette. And basically that is how to speak to people, how to address people, how to deal with people when you encounter problems. This person is always aggressive. This person is always, want to be fitting in with the crowd. This type of person, the 85er, is the person that always is striving to achieve happiness but can't obtain it because of the things that they're doing or in how they're doing it. You feel what I'm saying? So this is the mindset of the uncivilized people, poison. And they eat shit that's unhealthy. And not just physical, mental. Poisonous animal eaters. You know what I'm saying? That is basically, in some cases mental and physical. And it's talking about, poison as far as like eating pork and things that are not bringing life to you, but slowly brings death. That's why they say they're slaves of mental death and power. Mentally you're a walking zombie. You know what I'm saying? So you're basically enslaved to any and everything that comes your way because you are so susceptible that you are never going to be of your own. You're always going to be following. You're never going to be leading. Now, let me get into the next one. The next one is, who is the 10%, right? And it says, they are the rich slave makers of the poor, who teach the poor lies, to believe that the almighty true and living God is a spook in the sky that can't be seen with the physical eye, otherwise known as bloodsuckers of the poor. Now, these are the people that do everything in their power to make sure that you are down and out and that you do not succeed and make it to the top. And the reason why they do these things is because, think about it, right? If you could think, reason, and understand on your own without nobody's help or nobody's advice that's trying to benefit off of you, then you're much better off. But if you're in a situation where you're down and out, you don't really have too much, you're gonna sort of go to depending on somebody's counsel, wisdom, and their understanding in order for you to be helped in a situation, so that way you won't be susceptible to some of the things that go on in this world. However, here's the thing. The 10%er is going to sit here and strive to find an intention or determine idea to profit off of what they're doing for you. You know, these are the people that strive to suck you dry. These are the people that strive to try to get to anything that you have. Whatever benefits you can help them with, they're all right with it. But at the end, you're the one that's suffering still. You know, doctors, deacons, reverends, you know, pharmaceuticals, you know, anybody that strives to make a profit off of what you're doing for their benefit is a bloodsucker. You know, in blood there's a life fluid. It's a life fluid. So overall, if they're sucking your blood, they're basically sucking the life out of you and leeching onto you. They're not striving to help you. They're not striving to do a good Samaritan deed and just do it without the intention of trying to get something. They always got their hand out. But one thing for sure is they're always doing things with a motive. And this is the 10% that I'm talking about. You know? So you have to be very careful and mindful. Because remember, they say they're the rich slave makers of the poor that teach the poor lies. So basically, they're teaching you a belief system that they conjured up in their mind in order for you to go along with, so you can feel like you have some sense of peace that they have. But in reality, you don't have no sense of peace because you're only following their advice and not really researching it. You know what I'm saying? And this is the thing that preachers, doctors, and certain people do in life that try to leech off of you. You know, they're trying to tell you everything, but they don't really want to show you where they get this information from or show you how this operates, because they feel like if you do it on your own, you ain't gonna need their help anymore. And they want you to rely on them. Basically, that's what a 10% is. A person that wants you to rely on them so they can mooch off of you and get the benefits from your labor. You feel me? So the thing is, you have to be able to use discernment. And if you don't have any level of discernment, you're susceptible to be caught in a fool's web. You know, dealing with people's nonsense on a daily basis and constantly always in a struggle with yourself. And it might be for no reason. And it's just because this person's just coming around, just sucking you dry, you feeling like, oh gosh. Every time this person's coming around, I don't have no life in me. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a way to live. You know, so that's just how I see the 10%, right? Now, the 5%, those are the people that strive to teach you everything that they know to the best of their ability so you could do it out on your own, you know? Because our degree says, who is the 5% on this poor part of the planet Earth? The answer is, they are the poor righteous teachers who do not believe in the teachings of the 10%. those who are all wise and know who the true living God is, and teach that the Almighty true living God is the Son of Man, supreme being, black man of Asia, who teach freedom, justice, and equality to all the human families of the planet Earth, otherwise known as civilized people. Also Muslims and Muslim sons. Now these are the people that, right? These are the people, which I'm part of, I'm the 5%, that always want to teach you any and everything that they know so that way you could be able to learn to do it on your own. You feel me? Because they don't want you to depend on nobody for your well-being. You know, what better way to live your life than to be able to do things on your own and not have nobody to rely on except yourself? You know what I'm saying? And this is the thing that they teach freedom, justice, and equality. They teach you ways to socially be independent, you know? Because at the end of the day, nobody wants you to, I don't, because, you know, I'm a part of the 5%. I'm the type of person that if I got it and you need it, by all means, here, take it. You know what I mean? Because I'm not looking for nothing back. I'm not looking for you to be like, yeah, I got you, and you know, nah, it's not even to that. What I'd rather for you to do, I'd rather for you to have it and then be blessed rather than not have it and be struggling. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the truth. Because at the end of the day, teaching somebody how to live and do things on their own independently from a lot of people shows their power and ability that they have that's somewhat locked up in them, and you're just unleashing their potential so they could be able to do things and be able to manifest things on their own time and their own goodwill. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the mindset of the 5%. The 5% is just, they just teach freedom. They teach you how to free your mind from all this bullshit that's in the wilderness of North America. They teach you how to free your mind from bad situations and circumstances you might have been dealing with a long time ago, but now that a person comes and shows you and instructs you on how to go about dealing with it, you're no longer susceptible to it. You're no longer prone and vulnerable to the situation. You know? And this is what the 5% teaches. You know what I'm saying? I can never see myself trying to get over on somebody. Or I should put it like this. This is the motto I got for 10%ers. Those that do bullshit to people. They're always trying to fuck you over. And they're never trying to help you. They're always trying to hurt you. And they always say, you know, God bless you and Jesus loves you and hey, come to the service and, you know, pay your tithing offerings, or the doctors, nurses, the cream. You know, these motherfuckers are the niggas that sit there and literally plan and plot your demise so they could benefit. They don't give a fuck if you die. As long as they getting something out of it, that's all that matters to them. You feel me? So this is the 85%, the 10%, and the 5%. It's not a group of people, it's also the mind state of people. Because there's certain people that live certain ways and do certain things, and you can really decipher and differentiate a lot of things that people do based on their etiquette and their mannerism in society. You know how people go about how they move, how they operate, and how they function. And you be like, damn, that's not right. But then you would look at another person and be like, yo, you know what? That's a good person right there. He's always striving to help somebody. And, you know, 5% of the people of the planet Earth teach the truth. And they're teaching you how to be your own. You feel me? They're trying to teach you how to be on your own and stand on your own and hold your own. They're not trying to teach you how to follow. We don't produce followers. We only follow to learn how to lead. And I just trust and will that, you know, this video that a lot of my subscribers and brothers and sisters might watch gives you an understanding of what 85, 10, and 5 means. You know, I just gave you a breakdown of each one through life analogies. You know what I'm saying? So that way you'll have an understanding of how to go about dealing with people, places, things, and situations. especially more likely the mind state of people. You know, not just people in general, but also their mind and the psychology of people, how they operate and function, right? So y'all take it easy and have a blessed evening. And I'll be with you in the near future. Peace.